Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Live in the Classroom. Today we are at Weber Elementary School. I'm Erica Fernandez with CCISD Communications, and we are here in Miss Erica Miller's fourth grade math class today. We're excited to be here. What are you guys learning about right now in this semester?
Right now we're going to be reviewing division, specifically interpreting remainders.
And so we saw a little bit before we got started. What are you guys going through right now in the lesson?
So we were looking at a math talk. So we were going kind of front loading some of our measurement units that are coming up at the end of the year. So just a little sneak peek into what we'll be doing later.
And so what are some of the techniques that you've learned to be able to teach these students that help really to make the lesson stick for them?
I find that turning and talking and having the students themselves kind of explain and ask each other questions before and after the lesson kind of helps keep them engaged a little bit.
Do you see that there's, you said that y'all are bringing division back and going back over it. Do you see that some students struggle with that a little bit more?
Yes. Notoriously, division can be something that we struggle with. I noticed this year that we're doing great with the actual computation, so the solving's much better. Interpreting remainders is a little bit trickier because that is where they have to really think about the problem and understand what to do with their remainder, because sometimes it'll ask them what's left over, do I need an extra in order to answer the question, or is it just the quotient? So that's what we're reviewing today.
So math can be kind of difficult for some students, right? So how do you make it fun and engaging and interactive for the students?
That's a great question. I try to be as, I guess, animated myself and give them as much time to work with each other as possible. So they're not just listening to me, they're doing problems with their groups, in partners, and independently. So it's a little bit of a mixture of a lot of different things.
All right, well, we've held them up long enough, so we'll go ahead and get started.
Awesome, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're gonna be looking at interpreting remainders again. So follow me with your eyeballs. I'm gonna be moving towards our interpreting remainder chart. Let me get an armpit. Who can tell me what are the three types of interpreting remainder questions that we might see? Give me one. Give me one. Xavier? Just the remainder. Give me the second one. James?
Just the quotient.
Just the quotient. What's another one? Ashlyn?
Quotient plus one.
Quotient plus one. So we know this can be a little bit tricky, right? So I'm going to give you some time to turn and talk in your groups, and I want you to tell in your groups, what is the difference between these three different types of remainder questions? How can we know when we have to add one more to the quotient? How can we know when it's just the remainder and when it's just the quotient? Get it? Got it good?
Get
Turn and talk about the difference. Go. Which one were you talking about, Xavier?
Just a remainder.
So what was it when it's asking about the what?
Just the leftovers they had.
Okay, just the leftovers.
Just the question is when it's just when they ask you how I don't know how to say this, but we would add like you would add up one and then it would make it add for everyone.
At the end right there, because then everybody would be included. Yeah. Okay. Let's do quotient plus one. How do we know when it's the quotient plus one? That's what the question's asking us to do. Karen?
Quotient plus one is you're
Not leading anyone or anything, because sometimes we don't want to leave people behind, right? Nobody's getting left off the bus, and sometimes it's something. What about just the remainder? Thank you, Karen. What about just the remainder? Kinley?
Just the remainder is when it's asking you for the leftovers.
For the leftovers. What else? How else can I say it? How else can I say leftovers? Nelson?
Like when you're trying to ask for like the remaining or the extras.
Remaining and extras. Very good. And just the quotient. Just the quotient. JJ?
So it's like asking seeing like how much groups of seven you have left and see how many groups of seven you have left.
Oh, that's a question for one of our events, right? Groups of seven. Okay, how else? Is there another way I could say just the quotient? You're exactly right. Groups of seven. Ashlyn?
They don't care about the remainder, so they're like, how much will they be able to buy and not have left over?
Very good. I see Matthew was agreeing with you. I don't care about how much was left. Sorry, I don't care. I just want to focus on how many equal groups I was able to make. Okay, Sounds like we have a great understanding, but now it's time to look at some word problems. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I'm going to model on the screen how I want you to set up your table. When I model it, I'm going to pretend like my tiny dry erase board is your giant desk. We're going to make 3 different columns, one for each type of division problem. So we're going to code it so we don't have to rewrite all of them, right? Okay. You're going to write in 3 different columns. Cap your markers. Wait till I say go. 3 different columns. If I put Q plus 1, what's that talking about?
Quotient plus 1.
If I put R,
Remainder.
and if I put Q,
Quotient.
in just a second when I say go, you're going to make your 3 large columns, and then you're going to put your hands on top to show me you're ready for the next part. Get it? Got it? Good?
Yes.
Go! Quick, quick, quick. Oh, hands on top. I'm going to rephrase that because maybe I need to make sure I tell us. I want us to make a giant 3 columns. So, yep, like table 4. Like table 4. Erase. Go, go, go. All right, so for the whole table group. For the whole table group. There we go. There we go. We got it. We're fixing it. We're making it happen. For the giant one. You got it? Brielle? Yeah. Giant 3 parts. Ooh, okay, yes, that's fine. I'll take it. Hands on top when you're done. Yep, perfect. Thank you. We're ready. Table 5's ready. Table 3's ready. I'm hearing the snaps of expos to show me we're done. Okay, arms down. You are going to get some very brightly colored pink problems. Yay! Now I have some good news and some bad news. I'm just kidding. Only good news. Good news, you don't have to solve right now. Okay, right now, that's right. Later, Wendy, later, okay? There's a lot of them, okay? There's 10 problems here. You're going to read through them. Listen carefully. You're going to read through them. By reading the problem, can I most of the time tell what type of division it's going to be? Yes, okay? So you're going to read through the stories with your table group, and you are going to decide as a group where to put your problem, what column to put these in. And you have to agree. Now, one thing I want you to include is evidence from the story. So let's go back to one of our old problems. Quotient plus 1. I'm planning a family reunion. 236 people are coming. Each table sits 6 people. How many tables do you need? This is a quotient plus 1. Okay? The evidence that I know that I'm going to need 1 more is because there's 236 people coming and everybody needs a seat, right? We're not kicking grandma and grandpa out because I don't have enough seats for them, are we? No, we're not. We're not going to kick them out. So I needed 1 more table to fill everybody in. So I'm going to be walking around and listening for your reasons on why and checking. When we're done with these, we're going to choose a few and solve with a partner. Okay, questions? So I'm going to repeat that as I'm passing these out. You are going to read these problems with your table group. You are going to be listening to whoever's reading. You can read it more than once. You don't have to do the full 3 reads. I'm going to underline. I'm going to get the important information, but you might want to talk about when you read it a few times, because are we going to have to read these at least more than once? Yes. You might even have to read it 5 or 6 times. Okay, so I don't care what order you go in. They are numbered, but that's to help us when we solve later and we know which one we solved. Any questions about what you're going to do? You are sorting these into the right column. Bianca.
Can you write the number inside of the
You could write the number inside the box, or you can place the problem in the box. That's why we made such a large chart on our table. But yes, you can. Any other questions? Thumbs up if you're ready to begin. Go. Remember, you don't have to go in order. Are we going to do it? I'm going to interrupt you. Auditorium.
How many chairs was each row? How many chairs were each row? Just
Might we need to read it again? Yeah. Okay, give me 5. I'm already realizing something as we got started. You've had like 3 seconds to work, and I want to tell you one more thing. You may put your hands down. Let's say I'm reading one and I'm not sure, because sometimes they can be a little bit tricky. You can make a pile of the I'm not sure yet and move through the ones that you know first, okay, reading them more than once, and then go back to those tricky ones later, because I'm already hearing some of them are a little tricky. And remember, you don't have to go in order. So if you need to make a pile of unsure, you have my permission to do it. Get it? Got it? Good? All right, go ahead and continue. Okay, what makes you think that it's just the quotient? Complete baskets. What does that mean? Can anybody elaborate or say more about what Liana meant? Like, what does it mean when it says complete baskets?
Baskets means that it's full and it has enough for it to be put away into the
Right, so does it matter how many are left over? Does it matter? No, because I want to know the total, the complete ones. Good, so where are we going to put that one? Quotient, I agree with you. Good job using evidence from the story.
119 passengers, and each car can hold 5. This one only has a question. It doesn't have a story.
Could that be the story? So let's think about it. What's it about?
How many cars needed to transport people?
Okay, so cars needed to transport people. Okay, what are we trying to find out?
How many cars are needed to transport 119 passengers?
Okay, so what information do we know that's going to help us answer that question?
119 passengers and 5 each car.
Yeah, so it is a story. Even though it's just a question, it still counts as a story. So I want you to think, if you divided that and you ended up with a remainder, what would you have to do?
Plus 1.
Okay, why? Let me have one of these. Why? Why might it be quotient plus 1? What if your sisters were on this passenger bus and your sisters don't fit in that car? I know you want to probably say, no, you don't get to go, Abby and Gabby. But we can't do that, right? So what do we have to do to make sure your sisters get to go wherever they're going? You have to get another one, right? Okay. Whoa. I'm going to interrupt us. Are we working together? Are we working together? Yes. Yes, Ken? Excuse me. Okay, sounds good. I'm just peeking. Y'all go to your next one.
Hobby Lobby received a shipment of mirrors. The same number How many mirrors were not placed on the same How many cars are needed to transport 119 passengers, each car
Read it again, Matthew. We're going to pause for a second. Wave if you have some cards in an unsure pile. Thank you. We've got some. Okay. What could I do to help me figure out what to do with the ones that I don't know what to do with? What might help me figure it out? Brielle?
You can probably like read them over again or read the question.
Read them again, because we read. Got to be readers first. Yes. Bianca?
You could look back over there.
Yep. I'm looking at my chart to support me. Liana?
Maybe you could just read the question only.
Read the question only. Karen?
You can use your 3 reads.
Using the 3 reads. Did that help us when we were going through one of them? Yeah. Matthew?
You could read and then eliminate which one you don't think you use.
Yeah, using some of our test-taking strategies, right? I'm going to give us another suggestion. Solving it, okay? Sometimes when you're looking at some of the problems, some of them are, would you agree with this statement? Some of them are a little bit easy. As soon as you read it, you know what to do, right? But there's some where you have to see the answer. You have to see the quotient. You have to see what the quotient's representing. You have to see the remainder. What's the remainder talking about? Solving it is going to help you with those tricky ones. So I'm going to give you next layer. You now have my permission to solve some of the problems to get your answer in order to help support you and figure out which kind of remainder question is it, or it is. So you can get your notebooks and pencils out if you need it. Got it? Continue. Did we decide what to do with that one? Or do we put it in a pile?
Quotient plus 1, but I'm just reading it.
We're reading it? Okay. Make sure you're reading it out loud, Bianca, so your group can hear you.
We are not sure. I think it's quotient plus 1.
We've been live in the classroom at Weber Elementary, Ms. Miller's 4th grade math class. That'll do it for today's live. We'll see you guys next time.